तेरे मन में राम तन में राम, मन में राम तन में राम, रोम रोम में राम रे, रोम रोम में राम रे। राम सिमर ले ध्यान लगा ले, छोड़ जगत के काम रे। बोलो राम बोलो राम बोलो राम, राम राम रे। बोलो राम बोलो राम बोलो राम, राम राम। तेरे मन में राम तन में राम, मन में राम तन में राम, रोम रोम में राम रे, रोम रोम में राम रे। राम सिमर ले ध्यान लगा दे, छोड़ जगत के काम रे। बोलो राम बोलो राम बोलो राम, राम राम रे। बोलो राम बोलो राम बोलो राम, राम राम। माया में तू उलझा उलझा दर दर धूल उड़ाए, अब क्यों करता मन भारी जब माया साथ छुड़ाए। माया में तू उलझा उलझा दर दर धूल उड़ाए, अब क्यों करता मन भारी जब माया साथ छुड़ाए। दिन तो बीता दौड़ धूप में, दिन तो बीता दौड़ धूप में, ढल जाए ना शाम रे। बोलो राम बोलो राम बोलो राम, राम राम रे। बोलो राम बोलो राम बोलो राम, राम राम। तन के भीतर 5 लुटेरे डाल रही है डेरा, काम क्रोध मद लोभ मोह ने तुझको कैसा घेरा। तन के भीतर 5 लुटेरे डाल रही है डेरा, काम क्रोध मद लोभ मोह ने तुझको कैसा घेरा। भूल गया तू राम रतन, भूल गया तू राम रतन, खिलाफ जाका काम रे। बोलो राम बोलो राम बोलो राम, राम राम रे। बोलो राम बोलो राम बोलो राम, राम राम। बचपन बीता खेल खेल में भरी जवानी सोया, देख बुढ़ापा अब क्यों सोचे क्या पाया क्या खोया। बचपन बीता खेल खेल में भरी जवानी सोया, देख बुढ़ापा अब क्यों सोचे क्या पाया क्या खोया। देर नहीं है अब भी बंदे, देर नहीं है अब भी बंदे, ले लो उसका नाम रे। बोलो राम बोलो राम बोलो राम, राम राम रे। बोलो राम बोलो राम बोलो राम, राम राम। तेरे मन में राम तन में राम, मन में राम तन में राम, रोम रोम में राम रे, रोम रोम में राम रे। राम सिमर ले ध्यान लगा दे, छोड़ जगत के काम रे। बोलो राम बोलो राम बोलो राम, राम राम रे। बोलो राम बोलो राम बोलो राम, राम राम रे। बोलो राम बोलो राम बोलो राम, राम राम।
We are recording from the ashram of our revered Guru, Pujya Atman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananji in Miami, Florida. On the occasion of Buddha Purnima, Swamiji's special message tonight is Wisdom of Lord Buddha. And now Pujya Atman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananji.
Om Mani Padme Hum Mani Padme Hum Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. My message on the occasion of Buddha Purnima. Remember, the highlight of all sadhanas, all yogic practices, is to attain moksha, liberation. That liberation is, in Buddhistic terminology, is Brahma Nirvana. Nirvana is blowing out the flame of craving. But when the three lokas are blown out, three lokas are your physical plane, your subtle plane, your causal plane. Physical reality, reality based on your sentiments, and reality based upon your intellectual understanding. All the three are in the realm of Maya, illusion, like mirage. If you are in that conditioned by mirage, your thirst will not be fulfilled. Think of a deer goes after mirage water and turns out to be a skeleton lying down. Just reminding of Uttarayana Marga. Agnir Jyoti Aha Shukla Sanamasha Uttarayanam. Agni stage is represented by incarnation of Rama, fire of truth. Shukla state is represented by Krishna. Shukla is like moon waxing in the firmament of your heart. Krishna presents that. And now, entering into northern path, expanding your consciousness to such an extent that your compassion extends for the entire creation. Karuna aspect. That's represented by Buddha. So, whenever you are worshipping or invoking God, these are three stages. And these three are never separated. In other words, Buddha is a blend of Rama and Krishna. Rama is a blend of Krishna and Buddha. And Krishna is a blend of the other two. Buddham sharanam gacchami. Dhammam sharanam gacchami. Sangham sharanam gacchami. Therefore, anyone who pursues Buddha goes along with this great mantra. First point, you are taking refuge in Buddha. You are taking refuge in Rama, Krishna, Buddha. Implying you are taking refuge in Brahman, the Absolute. Dhammam sharanam gacchami. In order to follow that surrender to God, you adopt the path of dharma. Yato dharmas tato jaya. Where there is dharma, there is victory. And in order to pursue dharma, take recourse to satsanga. That satsanga is termed by Buddha as sangha, congregation, coming together. And it is termed bihar. It's an entertainment, real entertainment enters your heart when you have started following the Uttarayana Marga. In broad way, when you start following integral yoga, you have commenced your Uttarayana path. Yoga in all aspects, karma, bhakti, dhyana, jnana. Let me begin with the mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum. Literal meaning is, may the jewel drop of individuality slip from the lotus of the heart into the shining sea of nirvana. Every mantra is a blend of bijaksharas, root letters. This mantra becomes a mystic formula. Here's a mystic meaning. Om, Brahman the Absolute. Mani, Ma, represents me and mind. That constitutes the mystic drop, allegorically represented as the drop shining on a lotus petal. So this me and mine is very slippery drop. Ni, Ni is negation of apparent shine. It's just shining on a petal. That's not your goal. Shine with a shining sea, the sea of eternity. So slip out of the lotus. So Ni is a negation of apparent shine. Padme, Pa, surrender to Buddha. Pahimam. Buddha, surrender to Dharma, surrender Sangha. Surrendering to Buddha is the highest goal. In order to do so, pursue the path of Dharma. And in order to know what real Dharma is, pursue the path of Satsanga. So therefore, 3 stages. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Dhammam sharanam gacchami, Sangham sharanam gacchami. Dme, DME, in the lotus of the heart. All this must happen within your own heart. Blowing out the flame of craving. That's called nirvana. And Buddha left it with the nirvana, just blowing out. Immature mind gets confused. Now there's nothing left. So brings the name void. But still you are giving a name void. Instead, call it Brahman. That's Gita gives modification, a further supplement to Buddha's teaching. Calls it Brahma Nirvana. Brahma Nirvana Grachati. The mantra gives you a brief sketch of spiritual movement. With Om you invoke God, the Absolute. With Mani you negate the apparent shine of me and mine. How do you negate it? By allowing this to slip into sea of nirvana. Om Mani Padme Hum implies, all these points are implied in that mantra. In a storyline, historical aspect, Buddha was born about 600 centuries before Christ. Exact is 557 before Christ. His family name is Shakya Muni. Family name is Gautama, belonging to the clan Shakya Muni. Let me repeat that. Family name is Gautama. Gautama Rishi, you have heard in the scriptures. The name of sages is given to people, give their children divine names. And the father of Siddhartha, Shuddhodana, and his mother is Queen Maya Devi. They gave the name up to the baby Gautam. Later on, it is known as Gautama Buddha. He is son of Queen Maya Devi and King Shuddhodana of the Sakya clan. And King Shuddhodana is king of Kapilavastu. That's in Nepal. It's not this is a Nepali name, Pali name. But Kapilavastu is in Bihar, near Buddha Gaya. He is husband of Yashodhara. And his son's name is Rahul. Forecast by ascetics. If you were to witness the very early stage, astrologer tells about Gautam, that he will be a great greater than great. But he will not be the ruler. If he were to see five personalities, patient, old man, dead body, let me correct myself, not five, four. Patient, old man, dead body, and a monk. And in storyline, Buddha happens to see all this. He renounced when he was 29 years old. He rode on horse, known as Kantaka. He crossed a river called Anoma. For 6 years, he did severe austerities. Sujata, daughter of a local inhabitant, brought him milk, kheer. When he was doing a lot of austerity, in divine plan, Sujata was inspired. The local inhabitant brought him milk and kheer. There were 5 ascetics with Buddha, they left Buddha, thinking Buddha has dropped down from his height. And this all happened in Uruvela, and that's Buddha Gaya. The teachings of the Buddha Chatvari Arya Satyani. There are 4 noble truths. Heya, pain that is to be abandoned. Heya hetu, there is a cause of pain, cause of misery. Han, where misery terminates. Hanopaya, steps leading to attaining the Hana state, attaining the cessation of misery. These 4 have a different terminology in Buddhist philosophy. First term is dukkha. Based upon janam, birth, age, everyone is born and begins to grow. Nothing in the state of childhood is permanent. Whole growing stage. Death, let me give you first. Second is called dukkha samudaya. cause of pain. And cause is described in terms of Trishna, craving, Kama Trishna, means going after eating, drinking, and be merry. Bhava Trishna, maintaining the world process. Vibhava Trishna, Vaibhav of the universe, gaining a lot of popularity and a lot of fame, glory in the world. But no matter what you attain is perishable. Third, Dukkha Nirodha, which is same as Nirvana, where the misery ceases to be. Gita terms it Brahma Nirvana. And followers of Buddha's school term it Shunya, void. Buddha highlighted nothing is real. But when the world is negated, automatically the absolute truth shines. You don't have to describe it. The moment you describe it, it comes in the realm of palabra. So that was Buddha's argument behind it. However, from a very practical point of view, one cannot live without certain concept. So it is Nirvana is termed Brahma Nirvana. If the world is negated, what is left is Brahman. But must realize this is an illusion. Snake on the rope. Snake is zero, void. So from one point, it is just void. Another point, it's always the rope. It was never a snake. And most important among the noble truths is Hanopaya. What is the method to bring about cessation of this illusion, cessation of misery? And this is termed as Dukkha Nirodha Gamini Pratipad. And it is Astangik Marga, 8 aspected paths. What are those 8 aspects? Ashtanga Marga is very important in the school of Buddha philosophy. Again, whatever we are telling in the terms of Buddha philosophy, Buddha school, is all implied when you practice integral yoga. Here you are getting entertained by giving different terminologies. Some people are more inspired when they follow Buddhist terminologies. Some are more inspired when they follow the Vedic terminologies. So that doesn't matter. But try to understand the Buddhist way of presenting it. 8 points have been presented as Ashtanga Marga. Samyak Drishti. First point is the importance of Samyak. Samyak is a kind of moderation, not extreme. Three musicians passed by when Buddha was practicing profound austerity. And one was, and they were singing. There's a message, divine message was brought to Buddha. The Buddha was going to go after extremes. So one musician was saying, do not tune the veena too loose, otherwise you will get donkey music. Next one was saying, wean the tuna not too tight. One is not too loose, another is not too tight. And third one, blending both, neither too loose nor too tight, but in perfect moderation. So, that's called Samyak. Neither extremes, neither too much, neither too little, but in between, in a melodious way. To understand the difference between melody and melody. The Samyak term is used behind every word. Samyak Drishti, Samyak Sankalpa. Samyak Drishti means right view. Samyak Sankalpa means right resolve. These two practices are called prajna, this awakener of intuitive intellect. Right view means developing a internal resolve, first internal insight, insight into what is your goal. The world is not permanent, it's perishable, it's illusory. So, developing a profound view of your life, a view of the goal. And then develop the resolve, Samyak Sankalpa. The right view is called Drishti. The resolve is called Sankalpa. Samyak Drishti, Samyak Sankalpa. Both come under the category Prajna, leading to intuitional intellect. Next set, Samyak Vachan, means speech. Control your verbosity. And if you do that, automatically you will be controlling thought, word, and deed. All three aspects of your activity: thinking, speaking, doing things. Of these three, speech is the highlight. Speech is the one that allows you to interact with so many people, affecting your thought as well as your deed. So, Samyak Vachan, control that speech movement. Samyak Karmant, right type of action. Samyak Ajivika, right type of livelihood. These three groups are termed Sheel. And the last three is Samyak Vyayam. Vyayam means effort. It's Abhyas again and again. Samyak Smriti, mindfulness, is a practice of meditation in a profound way. And Samyak Samadhi, going into superconsciousness. Let me enumerate all the 8 points. Samyak Drishti, Samyak Sankalp, Samyak Vachan, Samyak Karmant, Samyak Ajivika, Samyak Vyayam, Samyak Smriti, Samyak Samadhi. These are 8 steps called Ashtangika Marga. Marganam Ashtangika Shrestha, Satyanam Chatvari Padani, Viraga Shrestho Dharmanam, Vipadanam Cha Chakshuman, Esha Eva Mahamargo, Esha Eva Margo, Nastanyo Darshanasya Vishuddhaye, Etam Hi Yuyam Pratipadyadvam, Marasyaiva, Marasyaisha Pramohana. Of the paths, 8-fold paths is the best. Of the truths, the noble truths are the best. Of all dharmas, Vairagya is the best. Of the two-footed beings, men of eyes are the best. Men of eyes means the enlightened ones. This path is to be propitiated for attaining pure wisdom, for giving a death blow to Mara. Rama is the ideal, the attaining the goal. But turn the Rama around, becomes Mara. Mara is mortality. And it is led by lustful inclination of your mind. Again, lust is only a upalakshana. Lakshana is called Kama, Kama Deva. Same is described in Buddhist philosophy as Mara. That Kama needs to be burnt up for attaining liberation. Let me give you some episodes. One farmer had good harvesting, and and at that time he was in his house in the upper balcony. Suddenly clouds gathered and started raining. He lifted up his arms and said, "Rain, rain, come again, continue to rain. I have done wonderful harvesting. I have nothing to worry about." And he did it when he saw a monk seated under the tree and rain falling all around him in order to ridicule the monk. And Buddha heard it, and he shouted also, "Rain, rain, come, come more and more." And what Buddha said, "I sow the seed of faith. Good actions act like rain. Good karma is like rain. I plow the field of the mind with the plow of Vivek and Vairagya." Vivek is dispassion, Vairagya. Vivek is discrimination, Vairagya dispassion. Righteousness is the handle. Shama and Dhamma are oxen. With this setup, plowing to remove weeds. Weeds are doubt, delusion, fear, and the cycle of birth and death, and harvest nirvana. So Buddha says, I have done all that and have harvested nirvana. Of course, when the farmer hears all this, he suddenly struck with amazement and came down and bowed before Buddha. Another parable is mustard seed. Kisha Gautami, a lady living close by in the forest. Her newly born baby passed away, and she had heard the glory of Buddha, how powerful he is. So holding the baby in her arms, she comes to Buddha. "O omniscient, omnipotent God, bring life to my baby." And Buddha says, "Surely, it's very easy. But first, bring me some tablespoons of mustard seed." But do not get the seed from a house where anybody has died. Of course, there is no house. There is no family that have not encountered deaths of their forefathers, grandfather. All elderly people continue to die. So she couldn't find anyone. Ultimately, she develops Vairagya. and comes back to Buddha and receives initiation. Another story is told that some disciples developed the idea that Buddha does not give reasoning about how and why this whole creation has come to exist. Let's go to another ashram where all that will be clarified. When clear things are clarified, then only we can do sadhana. And so, that representative of that group comes to Buddha and says these points, that we are going away. And Buddha says, we never restricted you to stay with me. But he gives an illustration. A hunter discharges a venomous arrow and it hits the thigh of a person. And the person is about like in a state of turmoil. At that time, the remedy is to take the arrow out and not to go into the detail. Who discharged the arrow? What type of venom it had? What was his intention? To which class he belonged? Countless inquiries are there. If you wait for all those answers, you will die. And one of the story of Buddha also gives story of many lives, that he had come to that state, perfecting himself through many lives. In one life he was a bull, and some monkeys started scratching his neck while the bull was sleeping. The bull woke up. First idea came, let me crush them. But suddenly another idea came. Crushing is easy, but controlling my anger, that's the greater task. By controlling my anger, I will soothe and make those like loving children. And so, he conquered his anger instead of being angry and developed kshama, forbearance, forgiveness. Similarly, through many lives he had perfected. And that implies every aspirant, because Buddha is an exemplary, and everyone has to grow in the image of Buddha, in the image of Rama, in the image of Krishna. Let me give you some quotations from Dhammapada, and with that we'll be concluding. Even if gold coins were to shower, human desires will not be quenched. Knowing that all pleasures are fleeting and productive of pain. A wise man finds no joy even in celestial pleasures. A true follower of Buddha delights in destroying all worldly desires. Another quotation. He who controls his rising anger like a skilled driver curbing a rolling chariot, him I call a true charioteer. Others are mere holder of reins. Another quotation, akrodhena jine kodham, asadhum sadhuna jine kadariyam danena, satchena alikavadinam. Conquer anger by love, evil by good, overcome miserly and greedy by acts of charity. And the liar by truth. Sahasamapi cha vacha anattapad sanghita ekam attapadam seyo yam satva upasammati. Vain are the 1,000 words, though well displayed. One word that leads to Shreya is far better. Atma hi atmano natha, kohi natha prarah syat, atmanaiva sudantena natham labhate durlabham. Atma is the lord of one's own self. None else can be the ruler of one's self. By conquering the self, one attains nirvana, which is the highest attainment. Na jatahi na gotte, na jaccha hoti brahmane, yam hi satcha dhamo chapso suchi socha brahmane. One does not become a Brahman by birth or by lineage or by matted locks. He in whom there is truth, in whom there is dharma, is truly pure, and he is the Brahmana. Sahasramapi ched vacho anartha pad sanghita ekamartha padam shreyo yachuttopa shamyati. Vain are the 1,000 words. One word that leads to Shreya is far better. And with this we will conclude. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami, Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And we conclude with prayer. Prayer for shower of Karunamaya Ras, grace of God, Karunamaya Ras, grace of Buddha over all of you, with the blessings of Shakti, Bhakti and Mukti. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukuva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyama Amritat. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina सर्वे सन्तु निरामया, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, माँ कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम हरि ओम तत्सत्।